Hi guys, Nick60 here, coming to you with a look at the Panzer Kampfwagen 2 OSP-D, or Panzer 2D. This is the was the free giveaway tank available over the holidays, and I'm sure that a lot of people are saying, well, if it's a free giveaway tank, why am I looking at it? Well, for those of you that haven't taken theirs out yet, I know it took me a little bit to actually get to trying the tank out, but do have it. This is a bit of a warning video, I guess, about this little thing, and you see I've got interesting equipment set choices here, and you'll see why in a sec. First, let's look at it in comparison to, I guess, my other tier 2 tank, the premium tank that I have in the German line, which this is actually the first premium tank I ever had, and I feel like I'm actually going to be doing a video of this soon as well. But you see that Panzer 2D has more hit points, 50 more hit points. So, okay, we're already beating the other premium tank. It weighs a little bit more. With my current setup, here, I typically throw on camo net because if I'm stuck sitting someplace, then we have 11.2 out of 12.65, where with this we have 10.82 out of 14.5. So it can take more weight, but normally this one's a little lighter. Engine power 140 at 75. Okay, better engine power, better power to weight ratio. It's a little heavier, but it's got almost twice as much engine power. Top speed 55. Top speed doesn't move. It says 37. That's if it's falling off a cliff. Traverse speed 45. Traverse speed 40. Hull armor 30, 14, 14. Well, 40 all around. That's kind of the thing of this tank. 14, 14, 14. Actually, let's pull up. Let's compare it to something more on its line. Let's compare it to the Panzer 2D. Let's do that instead. So, starting over. The Panzer 2 versus the Panzer 2D. We have 45 hit points, 210 hit points. 9.2 out of 9.5. With my full equipment set, 11.2 out of 12.45. Heavier. 130, 140. Theoretically, the engine horsepower is similar. A little bit worse, but still fairly similar. We're going to get to that. Top speed, 40. Top speed, 55. This is still looking pretty good so far. Traverse speed, 35. Traverse speed, 45. Hull armor, 30, 20, 15. 30, 14, 14. Worse hull armor. Turret armor, 30, 15, 15, 14, 14, 14. Worst turret armor. Standard shell damage, 8 to 14. Pen, 17 to 29. So, same gun. 111.7 rate of fire, 113.82. Better rate of fire. 39 traverse speed, 44 traverse speed. 290 view range, 320 view range. 245 signal range, 265 signal range, 345 signal range. So, on paper, this looks like a better vehicle. On paper. And this doesn't factor in anything but the weight. If I take out this, it doesn't change the traverse speeds or anything. So, it doesn't factor in cruise skills or anything. And there's, I'll explain it in a second why I put those on there. On paper, the Panzer 2D seems like a better vehicle overall for scouting. It's got worse armor, but scouts don't rely on armor. Unfortunately, that's on paper. The Panzer 2D only has a slightly worse engine horsepower, but it has serious issues for whatever reason. The engine has no, to borrow a phrase from the Mighty Jingles, no grunt. this thing takes time getting going places. Which means that even though it has these great traverse speeds on top of that, it still feels sluggish. So, okay, it has issues getting up to its top speed. Fantastic. It still has a good view range and a good signal range. Yes. But it's using the base gun of the Panzer II to try to defend itself. And it's sluggish in terms of getting moving and responding. The end result is you get a vehicle that's clearly built for scouting above everything else, with a 55 top speed and great signal and view ranges for its tier, that just can't respond like a scout. Despite my best efforts, using my 100% crew with camo, recon, and off-road driving, I just can't get this thing to perform real well. To the point where vents was thrown on, chocolate, and 105 octane gas. The suspension, it's a scout tank, gotta keep it moving. And, you know, you can't use anything else on it, because other than its default. And, you know, yeah, it can train them. I mean, you can see that these guys are a little bit above the two friends here in terms of skills. But, wow, it just... Despite the fact that on paper it sounds great, it has issues. Let's have a look at the gun here, because you're saying, well, at least it's the same gun as the Panzer II. It's the same stock gun for the Panzer II. The Panzer II's top gun, on the other hand, has a faster reload, the same complete reloading, so it can empty its 10-round magazine faster. Has better penetration, same damage, better dispersion, shorter aiming time. So what you're getting is a Panzer II with the stock gun, with a worse stock turret, with a slightly better stock engine, with better suspension and better turret traverse speeds. But that's it. Better traverse speeds. Worse power to weight ratio because it's still heavier. Stock gun. I mean, this thing bounces off of everything, including itself. I mean, it says it says it only has 14 hull armor, but even hitting here and here with a supposed penetration of max of 29 and min of 17, so it should punch through that, this vehicle has issues. So it's almost a pure scout vehicle that you have to try to use as a passive scout that I'm not very good at. Now, rather than me continuing to sit here and talk and spin this thing, let's have a quick look. Like I said, vents, enhanced torsion, 10% to engine power, 10% to cruise, plus the 1 repair kit, plus the camo, plus 10 rounds of APCR, which max penetration of 58s, just to try to give it a little bit more punch. So let's take it out into the into a battle real quick. This will be top performance that I can get out of it in this upcoming battle. So let's have a look, shall we? So here we are. This is as good of a battle as I can squeeze out of the Panzer IID. And you can see there's a lot of people, 4 on each side in this game, well, 5 on the other team actually, trying to figure out the Panzer IID and get their 2 times experience points out of it.
Let's get this show on
Now,
the road.
full speed. We're working on it. We're still working on it. And I know that at Tier 2 you can't expect tanks to get up to their full speed really well, but to take going downhill to get up to 55 like that, I don't know. Maybe I've just been playing high tiers too long, but it just feels really sluggish and having issues to me. It spends almost its entire time in between 20 and 30 kph, much closer to 20 whenever I play this thing. So, I decide I am just going to camp in this little spot here, and we have our first victim. Miss. Well, that's not the tank's issue, that's me pulling the trigger when I didn't really have any business pulling the trigger.
Enemy armor is damaged.
And I didn't do all 70, that was me combining with him. He did most of that. I did 10 damage.
Penetration. Enemy is hit.
So, continuing to try to do some damage. And that Cruiser 1 just has to move in front of me.
We didn't even scratch them. Penetration.
Continuing. Now, the good thing is the gun at least has a good reload. And I haven't yet noticed that Tetrarch.
Enemy is hit. Enemy armor is
And
hit.
there we go.
We didn't even scratch them.
All
The
10
engine is
shots.
smoking.
Still having issues penning, still having issues damaging, still having issues killing. I spent a little bit of time with this damaged engine, but of all things, this thing is cranky enough that I actually end up using my repair kit just to fix the engine. There we go. And I'm not wanting to expose myself to him. He's busy taking care of that guy also in the 2D is busy taking care of him, so I'm just gonna move forward. There's the T-26, and got him.
Vehicle destroyed.
And the Panzer 2D. Now watch this.
We didn't penetrate their armor. Critical hit. Critical
Now,
hit.
I was hitting the hull, which maxes out at 14 millimeters damage, with a gun that gets
We
between
didn't
17
penetrate their armor.
and
We
26,
didn't even scratch them.
or 29. 23. Point is, it's more than what its armor says it should be. So now we have a classic issue in tanks
We didn't penetrate their armor.
of having multiple tanks of the same kind
That one didn't go through.
desperately
We didn't
trying to
even
do some
scratch
kind of
them.
damage. And there I just used my 10 rounds of APCR.
Enemy armor is damaged. We didn't
10
even
shots,
scratch them.
2
We
damages.
didn't even scratch them. Enemy is hit. Enemy
Okay, a
armor
little
is
bit better.
hit. Penetration. We didn't penetrate their armor. We didn't penetrate their
And
armor.
I catch fire and don't have a fire extinguisher.
Bail out. This vehicle has had it.
And that's as good as it gets in this tank, at least for me. I mean, really? That guy had 14 millimeters armor where I was hitting him, and with 23 pen, I just couldn't kill him. There was 2 of us shooting at him. So, in my opinion, this vehicle really has issues. And here's the thing. That got me a second-class mastery badge. That means I did better than 80% of the other people playing this tank in this match. Which should tell you something about its performance overall. The thing has issues. I mean, it's great for continuing to push more 2 times per match, but you almost have to mainline gold everything, not just the couple things that I've thrown on it. You almost have to mainline gold everything to try to maximize this vehicle's capabilities just because of the issues it has. So yeah, that's the Panzer 2D for you. I hope this has given you a little bit of an idea of what to expect with this vehicle. And yeah, I know it's a free premium tank, why complain? And I am going to continue to use it. It's just, I hope it does get a buff at some point in its, at the very least, in its engine, so it can make better use of that speed that it has. Because, in all the times I've played it, only shooting downhill has ever gotten me up to 55 in any kind of hurry. So yeah, if you like this video, want to see more, please check out my channel. Subscribe or check out my Twitter, Nick60vids, if you want to keep hearing about more. If you're feeling really generous, please check out my Patreon, Nikolai60. Links to everything in the description. And this has been the Panzer 2D, Nick68 signing off. See you guys.